Hello students, welcome back on behalf of JS College of Commerce, Wardha, and I am your teacher for the subject Business Economics for BCCA second year third sem. Today this is our only revision lecture. Why? Because till now what are the points we have covered that we will go through. We will just have a look on the things which we have seen in our online sessions. Our 3-4 lectures, earlier 3-4 lectures were on OBS app, means along with the PPTs there was a lecture. But after that we have started this online or a whiteboard lecture, we can say. Now what we have seen or what we have gone through in our unit 1. I will just take the revision, means the points in brief I will explain. So in that we have seen what is economics, what is economic activity, what is the meaning of business economics and all. So for that, what is economic activity? Money earned, a profit earned out of that kind of activity is known as economic activity. When nothing is earned, means there is a no relation of any money or money generation or output or a profit, profit earning. There is no idea behind that activity where nothing is earned or where money is earned, where the profit is earned out of that activity, and that is why it is called economic activity or a business activity. When an individual is engaged in business, he is running an enterprise. It means he is doing all that activities, all those activities for the sake of profit, for the sake of maximum income or money. So when the activity is related to money, monetary activity, then it is economic activity. When nothing is earned, no money is earned out of the activity, it is non-economic activity. Clear? Then we have seen the economics. What is the meaning of economics? Economics is a social science. Economic includes production, distribution, consumption, etc. That is what is economics. At the same time, we have seen that economics includes the study of human behavior, a study of industry, a study of enterprise, how it is run or how it is run by an individual. Then we have seen the business economics, our main topic. Our main topic starts here, because unless we understand the meaning of economics in brief, unless you understand what is activity, then only you would be able to understand the meaning of business economics. So what is business economics? Business economics is also known as a managerial economics, where the aggregates, where the different kinds of activity which are taken place in together, in totality, that is the study of economics. Business economics, when there is a word business is attached before economics, that is business economics, means how to manage the economy related to the business is business economics. So business economics have certain definition, have a specific meaning that we have seen. But in short, business economics means it is known as a managerial economics. And being a managerial economics, when there is an individual known as a manager who is there in business economics, then he has to make various decisions. He has to take various decisions like production decision, cost analysis, market analysis, all these things, all the aggregate study about the market he has to do. So business economic scope is wide. The scope of business economics is wide. It has got lot of importance. When economy is managed, when the economy is studied or analyzed, indirectly business comes with that. So business economics has that part which is known as business economics. The scope of it is very, very wide. Then we have seen the definitions given by different authors of business economics. Then we have covered the basic economic problems. Now again, when a producer, when an entrepreneur who is running a business, who is continuing his business, or a manufacturer, the person who is running a manufacturing production unit, so he faces lot of problems. So those problems are known as basic economic problems. That basic economic problems includes what to produce, for whom to produce, and how much to produce. These are the three basic economic problems. Which are these three basic economic problems? What to produce, for whom to produce, and okay. So these are the basic economic problems we have seen. 3 basic economic problems. Then we have gone through with the types of economy. How many types of economy are there? There are 3 main types of economy. Capitalist economy, which is also known as free enterprise economy. Okay, then socialist economy, then we have seen mixed economy. See, economy means kya hai? Every country runs, they have some basic fundamental on which their monetary base is based on. You getting my point? When the economy is run in capitalist economy, how economy works, in socialist economy, how economy runs, and in mixed economy. In mixed economy, there is a mix up of socialist economy and capitalist economy. Private and government, hold. Government has a maximum hold in case of mixed economy, whereas in capitalist economy, capitalist means the individuals who are involving the money. Mainly they are bringing the capital in the market, and they are the holder. They are the main persons who are holding that economy. That is why it is called capitalist economy. Socialist economy. Okay, in socialist economy, only the betterment of the society. Each and every person of the society must be satisfied, so that the social aim, the social idea behind that, so it is known as a socialist economy. This is how these are the 3 different types of economy we have studied. Then we have seen the utility. What is utility? Total utility, marginal utility. Okay, before studying diminishing marginal utility, you should know what is total utility and you should know what is marginal utility. Then here the main topic is law of diminishing marginal utility. The utility which is a marginal utility, it means what? With every additional unit, the satisfaction of the consumer get reduces, and that is why it is called diminishing. Diminishing means losing, getting decreased. So it is called law of diminishing marginal utility. With every additional unit of a commodity, with every additional unit of the product. There we have taken the example of pizza, example of chapatis, etc. Means law of diminishing marginal utility. So before that you need to understand utility, total utility, marginal utility, and then diminishing marginal utility. Okay. So I hope utility topic is very easy and you have covered that. I hope you have understood that particular topic. So utility, law of diminishing marginal utility, we have gone through it. Then here we have finished our unit 1. Okay, your unit 2 starts from this. In unit 2, the very primary topic is theory of demand and then theory of supply. But before that, theory of demand. These are the recent lectures we have covered the theory of demand. In the recent lectures we have seen what is the meaning of demand. Okay, demand has 4-5 determinants on which the demand is said to be analyzed. Okay, then we have seen the assumptions and exceptions of demand. Okay, so assumptions, exception and law of demand. So what is demand? The main determinant for the demand is price or rates of the commodity. So the law of demand says there is a inverse relationship. Okay, inverse means when the prices are high, demand is low. When the demand is low, why demand is low? Because the prices are high. So there is an inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. That is the main idea behind the law of demand. So I hope that point is also clear for you. That is law of demand. Then in that law we have seen what is the statement of law. Okay, what is the law of demand? Statement of law of demand. Alfred Marshall, who is the originator of that particular law, he has published one book, and in that book he has given the detailed information regarding that law. So he established himself as a father of economics, father of modern economics, or he is also said as a father of capitalism. So Alfred Marshall and the other economists also who have given their contribution in the economics. Okay, but now before that we will see what is the statement of law. I think in the all the notes I have given you the law of demand, statement of law of demand. So go through the study notes well, so that the things will be easy for you to understand. Then elasticity of demand we have seen. Okay, elasticity of demand. What is that? It is a percentage. It is a technical term. Okay, response towards that particular quantity demanded. Response of, then we have seen the different types: relatively elastic, relatively inelastic, perfectly elastic, perfectly inelastic, unit elastic. These are the 5 types of elasticity of demand. Okay, I hope that is also very clear for you. Then demand forecasting. In the last lecture we have covered the demand forecasting. What is demand forecasting? Forecasting means planning. Assuming something about the future is forecasting. Okay, so in demand forecasting we have also seen what is the meaning of it, definition of it. Then we have seen the demand forecasting importance and scope of demand forecasting also. And in that we have done the methods of demand forecasting. See, from exam point of view, the methods of demand forecasting, importance, scope, that is the important portion of this unit. Law of demand is expected because your pattern is 8 marks, one question, second question 8 marks. In that also you have an option of or 8 and then option of 16 mark. Okay, there will be 2 question of 8 marks or there is a single question of 16 mark. So in case of 16 mark, how the question is asked? There will be a question like you explain the law of demand along with its exceptions and assumptions. Although it is not mentioned that draw the curve or something, but in case of law of demand, in case of 16 mark question, you have to give each and every detail along with the, first of all you will start your answer with introduction, then you will write the law, statement of law of demand, then you will go for that schedule of law of demand, then the curve of demand curve law and the curve of law of demand, then you will move on to assumption and exception. So before reaching to the assumption and exceptions, you have to cross the path of concept, introduction, schedule, then its curve. Okay, so 16 mark question is always difficult to attempt, but before that try to do. It is very easy. Once you understand the law of demand, then you can explain it of your own. Okay, so demand forecasting. Demand forecasting is also one of the expected question. And now up till here we have covered, okay, till our last session. Now here onwards we will move and we will start after Diwali the topic law of supply, which is the remaining part of our unit 2. When we will finish the law of supply, our unit 2 will also be covered or unit 2 will also be completed. By the time, stay home, stay safe. Happy Diwali to all of you. Thank you.